her as well, honey. We'll hand it off to you now.
Here she goes, honey. So you're gonna come watch?
This is my presentation.
I can't hear her at all.
Sadie,
For my capstone project, I chose originally to.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Your microphone was cutting out, but it sounded like it's coming back in. I'll be quiet.
For my capstone project, I chose to write originally a 12-song album about my experience in Mirror, but eventually it only ended up being an EP of 5 songs. When I chose it, I thought it would be super duper fun to do something like writing songs, which I really enjoyed for something like a school project. And I'd never aimed to record, mix, or like finalize any song that I had ever written. And I thought it would really pay off for me personally in the end, and it would be something that I would be able to look back on and be really proud of and happy. I chose it when I think around the school year started. It was kind of a late decision. I had a lot of different like plans before the school year started for my capstone. And one day I kind of just thought, I could just write an album because I have songs already. And so that kind of finalized itself on a whim. I wanted to do something that I could bring with me too, along and like leave something with the school and still have it with me as well, and to give it to more people than just the school and myself. And I really wanted to do something non-physical, so it wasn't like stuck in one place all the time. I really need to grow for this project. It needed to get better at following deadlines. I needed to learn how to use all the recording software I needed. I really needed to learn how to be patient with myself in writing the songs and editing and getting them how I wanted them to be. And I really needed to improve my communication skills with people like my mentor and just like communicating with people about other projects, since group projects aren't really my thing. What I got from this project was the ability to sing through blood, sweat, and tears. I learned a lot of new knowledge on the recording software that my dad helped me get that was easy to use and really easy to access as well. And I learned a very harsh lesson in procrastination. And I had to end up spending 4 hours recording 5 songs really late at night.
Oh my god, Sadie.
I was really intimidated by a lot of things, and this project really showed the ups and downs of being a musician. I was really scared of not being able to finish a song due to my sheer dislike for it, because a lot of my songs I really dislike, and that's just like a given. Having a deadline was really, really terrifying because I've never had a deadline for things like songs or art or any other kind of creative like thing besides like unit notebook projects, but this was a lot different than those.
He's killing me.
I was looking forward to spending just time with myself and my instruments though, and I was really excited to see how each of the songs would turn out, because I wanted them all to be different in some way but still form something part of a whole. My mentor was I reached out to her over the phone after my mom suggested her for me. She was not actually my first idea for a mentor, but after a little debating, I decided she was a good writer and musician, and she would help me through it a lot. So I called her, and she said that she was happy to be my mentor for this project. Meeting up and talking was pretty difficult a lot of the time because she has a strict schedule, and it especially got kind of strict when COVID-19 hit. with meetings and everything. So we didn't meet that much because of her schedule not being that flexible. But she helped me edit, perfect, and stay confident in my songs throughout the project. So things like disliking it so much I didn't put it in didn't happen. Some highlights of my capstone were learning how to use the recording equipment because I had never used professional like microphones and different tapes for instruments and vocals. I'd never done anything like have instruments playing over a song that I recorded like separately. And that was a really, really fun experience to learn how to use all of that. Going back to old songs that I had written before I started my capstone was extremely fun because some of them I hated more than anything, and the others I loved playing so much, and I knew I wanted to put on the album. But no matter whether I hated them or not, it was super fun to go back and look at those. And figuring out my mess of a songwriting process was really fun because my songwriting process before was like setting up a recording, improvising for like 3 minutes and going back and listening and deciding whether I hated it or not. And that just wasn't going to work with this deadline and this capstone. So I needed to figure that out. My biggest challenges were confidence. I'm not confident in my songs at all most of the time. And I was afraid that it would hold me back from finishing my album because I just didn't want to sing the songs anymore. Procrastination has always been a problem of mine, and when quarantine started, it just made it worse. I had no motivation to do anything like writing an album, and it just all kind of went downhill motivation wise. And organization, organizing meetings with my mentor was something that I had never experienced before. Planning when to work on songs was also something I'd never done before. I'd never set specific times to sing. And figuring out my song process again was really, really fascinating. My boundaries were pushed very past their limits. I had to consistently. I had to not improvise, forget the good melodies. I had to edit songs I never would have thought to edit a few years ago. And I had to make myself write songs even when I didn't feel like it and when I didn't have motivation. Would I recommend this capstone? Yes, absolutely. Writing songs is really fun once you get past the disliking them. Recording software is surprisingly simple. It can seem intimidating, but really it's just pressing buttons and pressing them again and then listening to stuff. And writing songs won't be the hard part when you get past that. It'll be actually sitting down and recording them. It may seem like the most intimidating part, but don't let that hold you back. But you need to have a lot of resilience. You need to have a lot of patience with yourself and equipment, and you need to really start early. You need to make sure that you have enough time to do things like learn the process, write songs, and record them. I want to thank my mentor, Katie Boneline, my mom, Sage Meadows, my dad, David Hampton, and all my John Muir classmates the songs. Any questions?
Oh my god, Sadie Jane Hampton.
Do we get to hear any of it at some point?
Currently there, well,
Even
yes.
like a taste test?
Maybe. I don't have them on this device yet. We're still trying to get them moved to all the different devices, but you guys will eventually hear at least a little snippet of one.
All right. Looking forward to that. Adam's got you there. Can you see the hands on your screen? You can call them, folks.
Yes, I can. Adam?
Hey Sadie, nice job. I really liked hearing about all the like the characteristics you mentioned learning. Like you said, resilience and patience. So it seemed like it was much more than just learning about songwriting, and I think that's awesome. My question was, you mentioned learning a lot about your songwriting process. What is that songwriting process? What have you learned about it?
Well, I've learned that to be happiest with my songs, I need to not just start improvising. I need to actually have a plan, and actually have a purpose for the song. And it went from just like sitting down and recording me singing something random for like an hour, to actually having an idea and writing individual lyrics, then working out the chords and going back and editing the lyrics as the song progressed. And it got longer, but the songs got easier to write.
Great. Thanks for that insight.
What else, folks? I know, Sadie, I'm so excited to hear some of it. And I really, you mentioned a few things. I'm taking notes, of course, but you mentioned some just really powerful things. Adam just picked up on a few of the key ones. I'm really proud of you for, you know, the idea of a capstone. I sometimes call it a tippy toe moment, where there's that item that you can kind of reach, but you might be really stretching and maybe it's a little awkward, and really appreciating that as you're all sharing today, you're catching that gist of never done that before. That's what life is. And then you do it and then you're like, oh, I can do that. What else can I do? And you just keep going like that. So I'm super proud of all of you. Really, really great. Yeah. You've got people requesting your songs in the chat. I don't know.
We will. How can we share those songs? Sadie has them in her email.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
That's the note that I just passed to you, honey.
Yes, I was trying to ignore that.
Nice.
But at the very least, we'll get those out to everybody later today as a release, and eventually be on YouTube also for people to listen to.
Excellent. Excellent. Looking forward to that.
I haven't even heard them.
What?
That's a lie. I heard you listening to them earlier.
Right.
All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments, feedback?
My mom had a really good question about whether will there be music videos to go with them on your
I know
channel.
at least one of them I want a music video for. I don't know about the others, but I know one of them, my end goal for that one is a music video.
Oh, that's great thinking. And I want to let you know, Sadie, we had some youngers on today. So I know Izzy was here, Parker. I just think it's so great. Each of you is inspiring someone. There's something that each kid is like, I want to try that, or that sounds great. And so you just never know. You never know the ripples of your actions and your intentions. And really, really love that you're doing such a diverse set of capstones this year. It's quite exciting. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else for Miss Sadie? All right, we've got just a couple left here. And I believe, let's just check. Yes, sir, Harper, you said a chat there. Am I next? You're up, buddy.